certificates as a way of streamlining digital transactions, critics and sceptics point out that such a system would give the state full access to the details of all transactions, as well as the ability to cut off an individual's money supply with the flick of a digital switch. As well as state-owned and controlled digital currencies, there exist alternatives whose supporters insist guarantee freedom from the eyes and hands of the man. Joining me to discuss some of those possible paths to freedom is commentator and Bitcoin enthusiast Layah Heilpern. Hello, Layah, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, it's good, it's good. Tell me, first of all, why do you think governments around the world are clamouring to introduce central bank digital currencies, CBDCs?
Well, it's very simple. Central bank digital currencies are programmable. So it essentially means that it's a much more easier way to push agendas, political agendas. For example, the World Economic Forum is talking about implementing a carbon allowance. So every individual will be given a certain amount of carbon that they are allowed to emit into the atmosphere. With a central bank digital currency, this becomes far more efficient because with a click of a button, you literally just program the money. And so if for whatever reason you buy too many burgers, too many sausages one week, when you go to fill up your car, your money could be cancelled. It could get declined simply because you use too much of your carbon allowance, essentially. Or even if you go to buy a plane ticket, it could get cancelled because you bought too many burgers, you bought too much meat that week. So it's much easier to push forward political agendas and political ideologies when you have money which is programmable with just a click of a button.
It's not really money, is it? A central bank digital currency. It's more of an outward demonstration of your obedience to whatever is the message of the day, and you get rewarded with a certain amount of purchasing power.
Exactly. So in Canada, for example, during the height of the pandemic, if you didn't want to get vaccinated and you just wanted to protest bodily autonomy, you would have your money and your bank account shut down and declined because you weren't a good citizen. So with a central bank digital currency, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. If you do not hold the correct opinion, and if you're not a good citizen, then absolutely that money will be programmed to be used against you. Even in the height of the pandemic, you had to be chaperoned to go into certain stores. So it creates a far more efficient way to discriminate against certain people. You don't need that middleman anymore. Again, with a click of a button, if you're not a good citizen, your money will be programmed to be used against you.
Layah, you notice I introduced you specifically as a Bitcoin enthusiast among a dizzying collection of cryptocurrencies. And you and many others insist Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone is safe from state interference. Why are you able to say that that is so?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So Bitcoin is completely decentralized. There's no CEO, there's no council, there's no one founder that can program the money or do anything. It's completely decentralized, so it's fully immune from any form of government intervention. People get quite confused because sometimes if you hold your Bitcoin on a centralized exchange, then of course the government in that country can tell the exchange to shut you down. That's very common, and that can happen. It happened in Canada during the protests. But if you hold your Bitcoin in the correct way, which means you take absolute custody of it, so there's no middleman, then nobody can touch it. It's just you and the Bitcoin. Also, it's completely anonymous. So your name, there's no KYC, there's no what they call know your customer sorts of regulations whereby you have to identify yourself with that money. It's completely anonymous. So whatever your opinion is, nobody has access to your Bitcoin and nobody can shut it down.